Greetings, fellow moviegoers, and welcome to Movie Central, the place to talk about movies, TV shows based on movies, toys based on movies, games based on movies, and rides based on movies. I'm your host, Mr. CCS, and this is my pet gorilla, George. Alright, let's talk about The Incredibles. Released back in 2004, God, that seems like forever ago, The Incredibles was a big critical and financial hit for both Disney and Pixar, which makes it surprising that we had to wait a long time for the sequel to be released. The movie took 14 years to be released. Yes, 14 long and painful years for a lot of fans. Sure, it wasn't the longest time to wait for a sequel, but it certainly wasn't the shortest either, but I digress. 2018 was the year this movie was finally released, and unsurprisingly, it was a big hit. Not only did critics rave about the movie, but also the movie became Pixar's highest grossing movie with over $1 billion made at the box office. That's a great sign of a sequel when you know you have to see it because it was very successful. But what do I think of this film? We're going to find out today. This is Incredibles 2. And to quote Samuel L. Jackson, trust me, it's going to be worth it. Telecommunications guru Winston Dever, voiced by Saul Goodman himself, Bob Odenkirk, enlists Elastigirl, voiced again by Holly Hunter, to fight crime and make the public fall in love with superheroes once again. That leaves Mr. Incredible, voiced again by Craig T. Nelson, with one of his greatest challenges ever, staying home and taking care of his 3 rambunctious children. As Violet, voiced again by Sarah Vowell, Dash, voiced this time by Hawk Milner, and Jack, voiced through archival audio of Eli Fusil, offer him a new set of headaches. A cybercriminal named Screenslaver launches his dastardly plan, hypnotizing the world through computer screens. We're going in the more fun comic book route, which is actually alright. Look, I prefer the more realistic route the movie took back in 2004, with the heroes going undercover to stop crimes. The first movie was pretty dark, but in the sequel, it's a little more lighthearted, and it has a few moments based around the original film, such as the train saving scene, or the line where the hero says they are in with their mission, or the Edna scene even, but I didn't mind this, surprisingly. The movie is a reinvention of the original narrative, and it brings back people into the world Brad Bird created. So, let's discuss the characters and other aspects of the film to see if it's good or not. All the characters from the previous film that return are great. Like the original, Mr. Incredible is still my favorite character. I love him when they give him the stressed out arc. It makes him more real, which is what Brad Bird does best in his characters in his animated films. Case in point, the Iron Giant. This is why Brad Bird is one of my favorite directors of Pixar, and he should definitely continue working with them as long as he wants to. As for Elastigirl, in the first movie, she wasn't really ready to become a hero again. In this film, they kind of touch on that when she's working with Winston Dever, but by the end, she's back to her glory, and I love her art. Speaking of Winston Dever, what they did with his character is very interesting. Instead of feeling randomly put in just for the sake of it, like most political characters in movies nowadays, he's smartly incorporated into the narrative, and it really works. Again, usually I really hate political references shoved in there, but here it really works out because, to be honest with you, these movies are political thrillers, and really good ones at that. So Winston Dever is actually a good character, and so are the kids, especially Jack. What they did to the character here is wonderful, and this is how he should be portrayed should they make a third movie. Now, I know a lot of people are confused on how he actually has powers. It's not really explained, but in the end, you kind of just roll with it. The other kids are more stereotypical kids in this, specifically with Violet and her adolescence and Dash struggling with his math. I should know. I struggle with those things as well. But again, I don't mind it. It feels completely natural here. The side characters like Frozone and Edna are uh, also as great and are really on the same level of greatness as the original movie. While Edna can not have so much funny scenes like she did in the original, I still like her character here. The other side characters, such as the heroes in hiding, are really well done. This took the idea from the original movie and expanded upon it, which I really like. And their powers are really good too. One of them can throw up lava, the other one has electrical hands, such as the Emperor from Star Wars. The other one can crush things, the other one has the powers of an owl, the other one's as strong as a brick, and the other one can do teleportation. I really like the way they showcase their heroes' powers and their even designs. Now, that's not saying they're the best superhero designs I've ever seen. Certainly not. But at least I was rolling with them. As for our villain, we have the Screenslaver. God, that name is really funny and really awesome. Who starts out with a really nice plotline until you realize who it really is, and it makes me hate the Disney twist villain gig that the company still continues to play to this day. It's kind of obvious whenever you watch the movie, but for me personally, it just really disappointed me that they're still going down this stupid route of giving us twist villain after twist villain after twist villain. It really, really stresses me out. Look, the twist villain in this movie was a good idea on paper, but it still irritates me every time I watch it, which is what I think of whenever I watch some modern Disney twist villains. Obviously, I've said which ones I've liked so far, and I've said the ones I don't like. But other than the twist villain, the characters are really good, and are definitely, definitely on the level of greatness they were in Incredibles 1. Side note, do you see the pink and yellow dress supers on the far right? They kind of remind me of Mossy Menos from Teen Titans. Not that it matters or anything, I just thought it was a neat detail. As for the animation, well, it's amazing. Seriously, this is perfect animation, and by far one of Pixar's best animations ever. It takes the style from the original movie and improves on it with flying colors. Details are improved, the characters' facial expressions look better. God, Pixar really, really has their game with their animation division. Their 3D animation is the best 3D animation I've seen. And all of their movies so far have had really good animation. Well, apart from a few. But that's about it. As for the music, Michael Giacchino comes back to work again with this movie and works on a very, very similar score with a jazzy feeling just like the original had. Not as good as the original score. I still find the original score a bit better, but there are great moments in this new score, such as the new songs like Diggin' the New Digs or The Final Battle, or even sometimes the reconstruction of the end credits music. But yeah, I know it's a bit of a shorter review. Actually, no, I know it's a bit longer. But I think that Incredibles 2, while not as good as the original, is still a ton of fun. If you love the original, then go ahead and check this one out if you haven't already. But again, the twist villain really did give me less hope for this movie because it nearly got a perfect score if the twist villain was executed better or not executed at all. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Not perfect, but still nearly incredible. Well, that's it for this review. Feel free to leave your comments on the movie below, and tune in next week when I take a look at Toy Story 4. With that said, my name is Mr. CCS, this is Movie Central, and that, my friends, is a wrap. See you next week. Goodbye.